Okay, so dreaming of owning property in Thailand. That amazing villa, maybe a stunning beachfront condo, it sounds incredible, but let's be honest, buying there as a foreigner can sometimes feel like, well, like navigating a bit of a minefield.
That's a good way to put it.
So today we're doing a deep dive. We're getting into the absolute essentials of compliance, what you need to know if you're a foreigner looking to buy a property in Thailand.
Yeah, the must-dos.
And our guide for this, we're leaning heavily on a really comprehensive report from Ocean Worldwide. Now, these guys are a luxury real estate agency, and they've been based right in Phuket. That's P-O-A-E-T, definitely not Phuket, since way back in 2004.
Long time. They know their stuff.
They really do. Their focus is luxury residential real estate, specifically in Phuket and Koh Samui. And the director there, Sandra O'Neill, she's personally helped get this thousands of families and investors over the past 2 decades.
Wow, that's serious experience.
Exactly. So this isn't just theory we're talking about. It's advice grounded in, real-world hands-on experience. Our mission today is basically to break down those rules you absolutely have to get right. We want to help you understand what's what before you commit, turning those potential hurdles into a clear path forward.
It's true, the dream of owning property in Thailand is so appealing, but the legal side is, well, it's uniquely Thai. And getting it wrong isn't just a headache. It can have really significant consequences.
Right.
So I guess the big question we're tackling is, how can you navigate all this confidently? How do you make sure your investment is secure, compliant, everything above board?
Okay.
We'll cover the basics like ownership structure, setting up companies, or maybe not setting up companies, the crucial legal checks, transferring funds, even some of the cultural bits that can make a difference.
Perfect. So let's dive in. First big hurdle, right? My understanding is that foreigners generally just can't own land directly in Thailand. Is that right? And why is that rule so firm?
You're spot on. That's the general rule. Foreigners cannot own land freehold in their own name. And the core reason, it really boils down to protecting national interests, keeping Thai land under Thai control. It's a fundamental principle there.
National interest. Makes sense. Are there any exceptions? Like, at all?
There are, but they're very specific and usually tied to pretty significant business investments. Think, large-scale industrial projects, factories under certain board of investment promotions, maybe specific types of hotel developments. It's not really aimed at individuals wanting a holiday home or a retirement place.
Got it. So not for your average individual buyer. What about condos then? Is that where things open up a bit?
Condos are definitely the main opportunity for most foreign buyers. Yes, foreigners can buy and own condominium units outright. Freehold title in your name.
Okay. So that sounds much simpler.
It is, but there's a really important catch. It's called the condominium quota or the foreign ownership quota. Yes. Thai law says that in any single condominium building, no more than 49% of the total sellable floor area can be owned by foreigners.
Wait, 49% of the whole building, not just like half the units.
Exactly. It's based on the registered sellable area. So you could find the perfect condo, but if that 49% foreign limit for the entire building has already been reached, you, as a foreigner, cannot buy it freehold.
Wow. Okay. So you have to check that early on.
Absolutely critical. It's like trying to get into a popular club, Once it hits capacity for foreign owners, that's it. You need to verify this quota status with the developer or your lawyer right at the start.
Okay. So what happens if the condo you want is full, quota-wise? Or if you're looking at a house where you can't own the land anyway?
Right. That's where leasehold comes in. It's the most common alternative. Essentially, you lease the property, the condo unit, or the land with the house on it for a fixed period.
How long are we talking?
The maximum initial term under Thai law is 30 years. Often, these leases come with options to renew, potentially for further 30-year terms. You become the lessee, the person renting long-term, and the owner is the lessor.
So you don't own it, but you have the right to use it for a long time.
Precisely. You have the right to use, occupy, and benefit from the property for that entire lease term. The upsides. Well, registration taxes and fees for a lease are generally lower than for a freehold purchase. And importantly, you can usually sell or assign that lease to someone else if you decide to move on.
Interesting. Any tips on the leasehold structure?
Yes, actually, the source we're using, Ocean Worldwide, specifically points out that having a registered Thai limited company as the lessor, rather than just an individual Thai person, can add an extra layer of security and structure to the lease agreement.
Good tip.
Fundamentally, understanding these structures, freehold condo within the quota, or leasehold, is step one. Getting this right dictates all your rights. The paperwork needed, everything. It prevents so many headaches down the line.
Right. Nail foundation. Okay, so moving on.
Hmm.
Some people hear about maybe setting up a Thai company to hold the property, especially land or a house. It sort of sounds like a workaround, doesn't it? It's that simple. Our guide from Ocean Worldwide says it's a bit more involved and not just filling out a few forms.
Yeah, they're absolutely right to flag that. It's definitely not a simple loophole. The key word here is legitimate business operations.
Okay.
Any Thai company that owns land has to be a real functioning business. It can't just be a shell company set up purely to hold property for a foreigner. The authorities, especially the land department, are very wise to this.
So it needs to be like actually trading.
Exactly. It needs to be actively engaged in a genuine business activity, generating revenue, paying taxes, maybe employing people. Think of, an IT company that needs an office or a small manufacturer needing workshop space, something real. Just registering a company solely to buy a villa. That's specifically not allowed and can cause major problems.
And there are rules about who owns the company shares too, right?
Yes, that's the other big hurdle, the majority Thai shareholding requirements. Generally, for a company to own land, Thai nationals must hold the majority of the shares, usually 51% or more.
Ah, okay. So a foreigner can't just own 100% of the company that owns the land.
Correct. And this leads to a really risky area, avoiding nominee shareholder pitfalls.
Nominee shareholders, what's that?
It's where Thai individuals are listed as shareholders, but they don't have any real financial stake or control. They're just holding the shares on behalf, essentially as a proxy, for the foreign investor who's putting up all the money and making all the decisions.
And that's not okay.
It's absolutely illegal under Thai law. The authorities actively look for these arrangements. Using nominees carries significant risks. The land department could refuse to even transfer the property title to the company if they suspect its nominee setup. Your whole purchase could collapse. Plus, there can be legal penalties.
Wow. Okay, so definitely not a loophole to be played with.
Not at all. It has to be a properly structured, transparent, legitimate business operation with genuine Thai partners if you go the company route. It's a complex path, not a shortcut.
That's crystal clear. Right then, before anyone gets carried away planning the furniture for their dream villa in, say, Phuket, it really sounds like the doing your homework phase, the due diligence, is just critical. Where do you even start with the legal checks? What are the absolute must-dos?
This is where you build the safety net for your investment. Number one, absolutely paramount, verifying title deeds and ownership history. You have to be sure the seller actually owns the property and has the clear legal right to sell it.
How do you check that?
It involves carefully examining the official land title deed, which is usually called a shenote in Thailand. You're looking for the owner's name, but also checking for any registered mortgages, liens, leases, or any other claims against the property. Think of it like checking the property's passport and its family history. You need it to be clean and clear.
Okay, check the shenote. What else?
Second, a thorough review of the sale and purchase agreement, or SPA. This is the main contract. It details everything, the price, the payment schedule, when the property will be handed over, any special conditions. You need to understand every single clause. Don't just skim it.
Makes sense. Protect yourself.
Exactly. And third, related to that, is ensuring contractual enforceability. The SPA you sign must be legally sound and enforceable under Thai law. Sometimes agreements might have clauses that are a bit vague or maybe not fully compliant or just not in your best interest. If a dispute happens later, a weak contract won't help you.
So getting a lawyer involved here is pretty essential then.
Non-negotiable, I'd say. A qualified Thai property lawyer is crucial. They'll review the title, scrutinize the SPA, make sure it's legally watertight and protects you. For instance, if you are eyeing up that lovely 3-bedroom villa in Kamala Phuket that Ocean Worldwide might list, you'd want your lawyer ensuring every single detail in that contract is solid before you sign.
Right. Get the experts involved.
Absolutely. And once you're confident about the legal side, the next big question is always, how do you actually handle the money, especially transferring it from overseas?
Yeah, that's a huge practical point for foreign buyers, isn't it?
Mhm.
It's not just having the funds. You have to prove where they came from. How does that work? What's the paperwork?
It's a very important part of the process. The key document here, especially for larger sums, typically anything over US $50,000 equivalent, is the Foreign Exchange Transaction Form, often called an ETF or sometimes a TOR 3.
ETF, okay.
Your Thai bank issues this form when you transfer foreign currency into Thailand and convert it into Thai baht for the property purchase. It serves as official proof that the funds originated from outside Thailand.
And you need this for the purchase.
Yes, the land department requires this FTF when you go to register the property in your name for a condo or register the lease. It's crucial that the details on the form your name, the purpose of the transfer, for example, for property purchase condo unit X, match your sale documents precisely.
What about smaller amounts? Or maybe
Right.
deposit payments?
Even for smaller amounts, you still need proof of overseas funds. This might be a credit advice slip from the bank or just clear bank statements showing the international transfer coming into your Thai account from your account back home. The principle is the same. Prove the money wasn't earned or generated within Thailand. It has to come from overseas, savings, investments, maybe a loan from your home country.
Okay, prove it came from abroad. Got it.
And finally, it's really important about matching funds to property purchases. Every single bat needs to be accounted for. Keep track of every transfer you make. Follow the payment schedule in your SPA exactly. Get official receipts from the seller for every payment. Keep copies of all your bank transfer confirmations and, crucially, those FETF forms.
Sounds like meticulous record keeping is key.
Absolutely. It's a good idea to keep digital copies of everything too. Scan it all, save it securely. It creates a clear audit trail, proving you paid correctly and with legitimate overseas funds.
Okay, so that's the purchase price and getting the money there correctly. But it's rarely just the sticker price, is it? There are always those extra costs, the bits and bobs. What else should buyers budget for?
You're right, the purchase price is just the start. You definitely need to factor in property transaction costs. Firstly, there are transfer fees. These are paid to the land department when ownership is officially registered. The rate can vary, often around 2% of the property's assessed value, but it can depend on factors like freehold versus leasehold, and sometimes promotions.
Okay, transfer fees. What else?
Then there's stamp duty, which is another tax, usually around 0.5%, and registration charges, small administrative fees for the paperwork at the land department.
Right.
And crucially, don't forget, legal and other fees. You'll have your solicitor's fees, which are essential, as we discussed. Don't try to cut corners there. If you're getting a mortgage in Thailand, which is sometimes possible but complex for foreigners, there'd be bank fees. And there's also something called special business tax, or SBT.
Special business tax.
Yeah, this typically applies if the seller has owned the property for less than 5 years. It's around 3.3%. Sometimes it's paid by the seller, sometimes negotiated, but buyers need to be aware it exists as it can influence the final cost structure.
Okay, quite a few potential extras there.
Definitely. The best advice: get a clear, itemized list of all anticipated closing costs from your lawyer right at the beginning. No surprises. That transparency is really key for a smooth process.
Good advice. And once you own the place, the financial side doesn't just stop, right? There are ongoing tax considerations.
That's right. Once the purchase is done, tax obligations become an ongoing part of ownership.
So let's get into that, the less exciting but totally necessary bit, taxes. What kind of taxes apply once you own the property? And does it get more complicated if you decide to rent it out?
Okay, so the main applicable property taxes you encounter at purchase are those transfer fees and stamp duty we mentioned, plus potentially that special business tax if the seller's ownership was short-term. Once you own it, there's usually an annual land and building tax, though rates can vary, and sometimes there are exemptions for primary residences below a certain value.
Okay, annual tax. What about rental income?
Right, the tax implications of rental income. If you rent out your Thai property, that rental income is considered income sourced in Thailand, and that income is subject to Thai personal income tax.
Regardless of where you live.
Yes, the income source is Thailand. The tax rate depends on your total taxable income using a progressive scale. Now, whether you're considered a tax resident or non-resident in Thailand matters too. Non-residents generally just pay tax on their Thai-sourced income. Tax residents, usually defined as spending 180 days or more in Thailand in a calendar year, might technically be liable for tax on worldwide income, though there are specific rules about when foreign-sourced income brought into Thailand becomes taxable.
Sounds like it could get complicated quickly.
It really can. Thai tax law isn't simple, and it can change. So, seeking professional tax advice is highly recommended. Engaging a qualified tax advisor or ensuring your property lawyer has strong tax expertise is a really sensible move. They can clarify exactly what taxes apply to your specific situation, any deductions or exemptions you might be entitled to, and make sure you're filing everything correctly.
So, quick recap on taxes. Transfer fees, stamp duty, maybe SBT at purchase, then potentially annual land and building tax, and definitely income tax if you rent it out.
That's a good summary. And getting professional advice on the tax side, just like the legal side, is money well spent.
Absolutely. Okay, buying property anywhere is a big step, but especially overseas in a place like Thailand with its specific rules. It feels like being prepared is everything. Beyond the legal and financial checks we've covered, what other sort of preventative measures should listeners think about to really safeguard their investment?
It's definitely about being proactive and mitigating risks. Firstly, thorough property checks, and this goes beyond just the legal title. Look into the developer's reputation and track record. Have they finished other projects on time? Are there lots of complaints online? For existing properties, it's really wise to get an independent building survey done.
Like checking the physical condition.
Exactly. Checking the structural integrity, the state of the plumbing, the electrical systems. Is everything up to standard? Are there hidden problems? Our source even mentions considering things like seismic resilience in building standards, depending on the area. Don't just rely on what looks good superficially.
Good point. What else?
Well, we've mentioned it before, but it bears repeating. Engaging expert legal counsel. I really can't stress this enough. This is probably your single most important safeguard. A good lawyer spots risky clauses, ensures your interests are protected, advises on the right structure, and steers you away from pitfalls like those illegal nominee arrangements.
So lawyer, lawyer, lawyer.
Pretty much. And also focus on protecting against unforeseen issues. This means ensuring your contracts are absolutely watertight and enforceable under Thai law. Your lawyer helps here, but also understanding things like local zoning laws or building permit restrictions is important. Can you actually use the property as you intend? Are there future development plans nearby that could affect you?
Okay, lots to think about before signing. And once the deal is done, the work isn't over, is it? You mentioned record keeping earlier.
That's right. Once you own it, maintaining meticulous property records becomes crucial. Think of it as ongoing protection and proof.
Like keeping the property's diary up to date, you said. What kind of records are we talking about needing to keep meticulously?
Exactly. It starts with organizing essential documents. Keep your original title deed, or the official certified copy of your lease agreement, the full sale and purchase agreement, copies of all official correspondence with lawyers, developers, government offices. Have a dedicated folder, maybe physical and definitely a secure digital one.
Okay, the core documents. What about payments?
Absolutely vital. Keeping payment records. Document every single payment related to the property. Not just the purchase price and deposits, but all the fees, taxes paid, payments for renovations or major repairs, even ongoing costs like management fees and utility bills if you rent it out.
Why is that so important?
It proves your ownership and financial commitment. It's essential for tax purposes, especially if you're claiming expenses against rental income. And if there's ever any dispute down the line, having that clear paper trail copies of bank transfers, official receipts, invoices is your evidence.
Makes sense. And digital copies.
Yes, the importance of a digital trail is huge now. Scan everything, save it securely, cloud storage, an external hard drive, ideally both. It protects against loss or damage to physical papers and makes everything easily accessible when you need it wherever you are.
Okay, that's the practical paperwork side covered. But buying and owning property isn't just legal and financial, right? Especially in a place like Thailand. Thai culture really values respect, building relationships, saving face. How does that play into property dealings?
That's a really insightful question, and it's an aspect that often gets overlooked but can make a big difference. Understanding Thai business etiquette is key. Things might move at a different pace than you're used to. Building rapport and trust is often more important than rushing to a deal. Patience, politeness, avoiding direct confrontation, these are generally valued.
Like the way greeting.
Exactly. That simple gesture of respect, the slight bow with hands pressed together, shows you understand and respect local customs. It goes a long way.
What about language? That must be a hurdle.
Oh, definitely. Bridging language barriers is probably the biggest practical challenge. While English is spoken in many tourist areas and by some professionals, crucial legal documents will be in Thai. Contracts, title deeds. You cannot afford misunderstandings.
So what's the solution?
Professional help. Get legal documents professionally translated. Work with a lawyer who is fluent in both Thai and your language. Choose a reputable real estate agent who can communicate clearly and accurately. It's really important not to assume everyone speaks English fluently or understands the nuances. Investing in good translation and interpretation is critical.
And negotiating. Is it different?
Often, yes. Negotiating with local vendors or sellers might be less aggressive than in some Western cultures. It's often more about finding a solution that works for everyone, maintaining harmony. Being respectful, patient, focusing on that relationship building can often lead to better outcomes than hard bargaining.
So understanding these cultural points helps smooth the process.
Definitely. It helps build trust, avoid misunderstandings, and just makes the whole experience potentially more positive. Whether you're looking at, say, a modern Thai villa in Phuket or exploring investments elsewhere. Trust takes time to build, but it's really valuable in this context.
Okay, now the market and the rules aren't set in stone, are they? Things change.
Exactly. The market and the regulatory environment are definitely not static.
That's a really important point. Laws, regulations, they can shift. Staying informed seems vital if you want to avoid, nasty surprises later on. How can someone who owns property there keep up?
It requires ongoing effort. You need to be actively monitoring evolving Thai laws. Keep an eye out for updates from official government sources, reliable legal news websites, or publications specializing in Thai law. Are there changes proposed to foreign ownership rules, new tax regulations, visa requirements?
Where do you find this info?
Subscribing to newsletters from reputable law firms that specialize in Thai property or foreign investment is a great way. They often summarize important changes. Following major Thai news outlets can also help.
And if things do change?
Then it's about adapting investment strategies. You need to be flexible. If new restrictions come in, maybe you need to reconsider your plans or look at different locations or maybe explore different ownership structures if possible. For example, our source mentioned tracking property transfers in places like Phuket, Rayong, and Samui, especially after measures against nominee ownership were tightened. Seeing trends like that might signal shifts in market confidence or how regulations are being enforced.
So stay informed, stay flexible.
Exactly. And finally, building local stakeholder relationships really helps here too. Your lawyer, your trusted real estate agent, maybe local business contacts, these people often have their finger on the pulse. They might hear about potential changes or interpretations of rules before they become widely publicized. Having reliable people on the ground giving you the real story is invaluable.
Right then. So let's wrap this up. It's pretty clear that buying property in Thailand as a foreigner, well, isn't exactly a walk in the park, is it?
No, definitely requires careful planning.
There are definitely hoops to jump through, and you absolutely cannot just wing it. We've talked about the vital importance of understanding those ownership rules, condos versus land, freehold versus leasehold, the absolute necessity of getting a decent, reputable Thai lawyer involved from day one,
Crucial.
the meticulous paperwork, especially that foreign exchange transaction, form the FTF for proving your overseas funds,
Yeah.
and just keeping incredibly detailed records of everything.
Yep, the paper trail matters.
And remember, this solid advice comes directly from the experience of Ocean Worldwide, an agency deeply embedded in the luxury market in Phuket and Koh Samui, backed by Sandro Neal's 2 decades of helping thousands of buyers.
Their insights are definitely valuable.
It might seem like a lot of, well, faff, perhaps, but honestly, it's far better to be safe than sorry. Stick to the rules, get that good advice, do your homework, and you'll be in a much, much better position for a smooth transaction and actually end up with that dream place you can enjoy worry-free.
Absolutely. And ultimately, that dream of owning a piece of paradise in Thailand, it is attainable for foreigners who approach it correctly. Which maybe leaves us with a final thought or perhaps a question for you, our listener.
Follow on.
Are you looking at this simply as buying a property? Or are you approaching it as a strategic, well-informed investment in what is still a very vibrant and dynamic market? Thinking about these compliance details, these structures, these checks, how might understanding them properly not just help you avoid problems, but maybe even open up new opportunities or refine your strategy for investing in Thailand? Something to consider.